Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in China learn the ins and outs of how to conduct home visitations of care recipients. We bring you an in-depth report about some of Taiwan's military dependence villages and the plights of the residents. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in China. Before making a home visit to care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers must always consider how to best offer assistance and guidance to the recipients. As Tzu Chi volunteers in Rudong County prepare to conduct home visitations, 10 volunteers from Suzhou came to offer their experiences.
This calm and peaceful environment is the terrace of Tzu Chi volunteer Guo Xin's home. After refurbishing the area, it is now the meeting place for Tzu Chi volunteers in Rudong County.
Since the terrace has become a meeting place for Tzu Chi, we're able to attract more people to join Tzu Chi. More bodhisattvas are coming to understand Tzu Chi.
This home and terrace are now places for planning compassionate acts. 10 Tzu Chi volunteers from Suzhou have come here to share their experiences with their counterparts in Rudong County ahead of their home visitations of care recipients.
这个要问清楚的，领养了之后，他现在小孩在上学吗？在上什么学？初中是吧
？14岁了哈，14岁了，所以他现在呢是上初中。
On their way to the care recipients' homes, the volunteers continue their discussion. The volunteers plan a hands-on approach to giving assistance. Volunteers from Suzhou accompany their counterparts in Rudong as they make their way to visit He Saiying in a farming village. Seeing clothes and blankets strewn about the house, volunteers set to work tidying up the place while instructing the daughters on how to help.
Your mother has it very hard, so help out a bit. When you get up, it's a good habit to fold up the bedding. It's easier to keep rooms clean this way.
He Saiying has 2 daughters, one in elementary school and one in middle school. She also has a son who is currently serving in the military. Since her husband passed away, she raised all 3 of them on her own.
I haven't had much income from farming, and if I want to farm, I need to pay for fertilizer and treatment. After adding all the expenses, we hardly have anything left.
The frail-bodied He Saiying suffers from kidney stones and pelvic inflammatory disease. Volunteers encourage her daughters to be more considerate and helpful to their mother. As volunteers leave for the day, Miss He reaches to grab a volunteer's hand to express her deep gratitude.
Staying in China but moving to Fujian, a 5-year-old girl, He Yujing, suffers from severe hearing impairment. Because her family is poor, they delayed treatment and surgery to correct her problem. She was later referred to Tzu Chi. Taking the initiative to provide assistance, volunteers helped arrange a cochlear implant surgery for the young girl.
Suffering from a severe hearing impairment, this 5-year-old girl, Yujing, is being assisted by Tzu Chi volunteers as she is admitted to the hospital on her birthday. 2 days later, she undergoes cochlear implant surgery. In addition to covering the cost of the surgery, Tzu Chi volunteers are also helping He Yujing's family take care of their 1-year-old daughter until the surgery is successfully completed.
I would like to thank Tzu Chi for showing concern for us and helping us. We are deeply grateful.
My greatest hope is that Yujing can undergo this surgery.
He Yujing would stay in the hospital for 4 days as she had a good recovery from this operation. 5-year-old He Yujing is now beginning to learn how to speak, and she is now showing her obvious excitement as well as her gratitude following the surgery.
Also about caring for the less fortunate, members of the Keelung chapter of Tzu Chi Teachers Association, students and volunteer trainees visited the DaAi Senior Citizens Home in Wenli, New Taipei City. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers from Keelung have also visited seniors at a private nursing home, bringing them much laughter and joy over the years.
The elderly residents at this township nursing home in Keelung are waiting for the volunteers' monthly visit.
Every month, Tzu Chi volunteers come to care for us. It feels quite good because the elderly always look forward to a visit by someone.
Tzu Chi volunteers started visiting these elderly people in 2005 and have never skipped a single month. What connected the volunteers with the elderly is Chen Lizhen, who brings her mother to visit every month.
I don't care how many people will come. I'll just come because they're like family to me. They are my family, so how can I not come to see them?
The DaAi Senior Citizens Home in Wenli, New Taipei City, is also filled with joy when Tzu Chi volunteer trainees came to visit the elderly.
When I go home, I may not know how to chit-chat with my parents, but I can sit with them and watch TV and help them do what they want. It's just keeping them company.
We came here as blessed people to accompany these elderly people. Then I will go home with this blessing to keep my mom company.
These young people get a lot of good influences, and it also makes the elderly young again.
My parents passed away when I was young, so I can't treat them with filial piety or anything else. So I hope to teach any student I come across that they can experience something, and when they go home, they can be filial to their parents.
In this event, the volunteers and the students seem to be giving of themselves, but the truth is they are also gaining something from these actions.
Along with the opening of the new Jingsi Hall in Keelung, a new Jingsi Books and Cafe has also opened its doors. After thoughtfully considering the design and layout, an opening event was held, showcasing the elegant and scholarly atmosphere of the bookstore and cafe.
Stepping into the Jingsi Books and Cafe in Keelung, you will notice the efficient use of natural lighting, which offers a tranquil atmosphere for guests.
很好，然后空气也很好。一进来就是有那个书香的味道，非常好，让我感受非常的清爽。
We hope that everyone can share this space. It should be a place of compassion and creativity, and a place to share ideas. We can also rearrange the chairs and tables to accommodate a large meeting. People could come here to hold study groups or just do their homework.
Along with the opening of the new Jingsi Hall in Keelung, the city also has a new Jingsi Books and Cafe location open to the community. With a clever design and layout, the cafe offers space for individuals or groups to study or hold different activities.
We hope that this design will be able to serve everyone and that it will prove convenient for people's needs. Like holding large events, for example. When people want to check out or pick up something, we can use this counter to serve guests.
Actually, our former location was smaller, but everyone was diligent and putting a lot of effort. Now we have a much more spacious location. With more room for people to interact and use the space, I think we can attract and encourage more bodhisattvas in the community.
Jingsi Books and Cafe welcomes guests to check out the Keelung location. The staff pledged to work hard to offer a calm and enjoyable atmosphere for everyone.
Early June in Malaysia's Johor Bahru, strong winds blew through Kangar Tebrau, causing most of the houses to be damaged. Tzu Chi volunteers decided to assist some of the residents with repair expenses, and the contractors who were hired were glad to do it at a cost lower than normal market rates. Disaster victims cease to repair their torn rooftops while the sun is out. Continuous heavy rainstorms have blown through Kangar Tebrau, causing many rooftops in this area to fly away. Tzu Chi volunteers went to survey the disaster area and found some families helpless and unable to pay for repairs. Muhammad Marzuki's neighbor's beams were caught up by the storm and smashed into his house. As a result, the rooftop was severely damaged, leaving only one room and the kitchen unharmed. This family of 4 relies on Muhammad Marzuki, who works as a painter, to support everyone.
The heavy rainstorm pounded this area abruptly. My children and I were frightened to witness everything that happened, including parts of our neighbor's house being blown away.
The rooftop and the second-floor rooms of Hushani Ramli's house were also damaged, leaving the family of 5 to sleep cramped on the first floor.
Even without the rooftop, we can sleep, but I have been forced to sleep at the back of the hallway.
Husani Ramli's income has been unstable after the disaster. His wife's sewing room was also affected.
If it rains, I pull all the plugs out. I can't continue to sew because I'm worried about getting shocked.
Near the affected area, Tzu Chi volunteers found construction workers who were willing to help the victims repair their houses.
Seeing the NGOs and Tzu Chi helping the disaster victims day in and day out inspires me to do my part to help. As a sign of my gratitude, I don't care about the cost of the repairs.
Not long after work began, it started to rain. Seeing that the workers continued their repair work, Muhammad Marzuki pitched in to help prepare the construction materials, while his wife and child cleaned up the debris. After the repair work was completed, everyone gathers to celebrate a job well done, as well as bask in the feeling of love that surrounds them. We begin the second part of our program with a new in-depth report. As military-dependent villages in Taiwan become run down and fail to meet fire code inspections, government officials proposed a plan to relocate the villagers in the year 2000. To date, only 4 villages have refused the offer, and since there are no relevant agencies to care for them, they have all fallen into decay. Today, we take you to one such community and learn the plight of its residents.
I am the recipient of the Order of the Blue Sky and White Sun Medal.
These numerous medals reflect Mr. Gu's wartime glory and heroics, representing a bygone era. In 1949, following the battle between the Nationalists and the Communist Party, the Kuomintang government retreated to Taiwan. Military servicemen then settled down in Taiwan, living in military dependence villages scattered throughout Taiwan. Each, however, would face a vastly different fate.
There is a grave behind the wall. It's been here for about 70 years.
His home, as it turns out, is next to a tomb.
During the tomb sweeping holiday, in theory, descendants of this person should come to clean the grave, but they have never come, so we do it once in a while, and even offer him a prayer.
While other people may consider this a village of graves for the soldiers' dependents in this mountainous area, it's their only shelter. This house doesn't even have a foundation, and it's built on this hillside out of wood. It's actually quite shabby, and when we exit the house, the first thing that we see and have to avoid are these graves. Many are also worried about the sanitary conditions of the settlement.
There are flies, mosquitoes, and mice. Mice are even running into my house.
The government is unable to provide any assistance because this is not an officially administered military dependence village, as it was illegally constructed. Former soldiers with good fortune were given lodging in a military dependence village built by the government, or residences left behind by the Japanese, or those constructed by the ROC National Women's League, or even self-built homes on land allocated within military dependence villages. But for those former soldiers who are not as fortunate, they had to rely upon comrades to help them build a shelter on vacant parcels of land. After a while, these areas became illegal military dependent settlements.
Why did we want to build a house near the river? We didn't have any other choice or any other place to live. We can only build here.
Once the Liugong waterway was an important canal near the place's military dependents built their homes. The 95-year-old Grandma Gu moved in with her husband and spent a few decades here.
Back then, you could drink from the Liugong waterway, which even had fish and shrimp.
Slowly, it changed and became a sewage drain, and the water in the canal was polluted and everything died.
As the environment became more polluted, the elevated houses on the Liugong waterway also began to fade away. This canal, known as the Liugong waterway, once had more than 40 households, but now they have all been demolished. While many of these residents are attached to the area, in the eyes of civil servants, clearing them was an important step in urban renewal.
The government tore down part of the houses, and I cried for several months. The kitchen was demolished, and now I have no place to cook or eat. I have to do it in these other rooms, and there's no way to use the kitchen.
Mrs. Huang raised 3 children at the Liugong waterway in a raised house, though she wasn't in possession of land rights or that of her house. It was partially demolished for safety issues and to improve the urban landscape. The city government began demolishing elevated houses there 6 years ago, only leaving a nearby military dependence village.
The government simply thinks that the land is quite valuable, and we should seek the most effective use of all land in the city.
Of Taiwan's 897 military dependence villages administered by the Defense Ministry, only 36 remain. Even if we add the illegal military villages that have yet to be demolished, there are still very few of these old areas left in Taiwan. The unique culture and memories of these areas are slowly fading away, along with the veterans who once inhabited these areas, a part of history which will never return.
In Malaysia, at the recent Tima camp, Tzu Chi volunteers who have an abundant experience in international disaster relief were invited to share their experiences with the audience. In addition, patients also told their side of the story when receiving treatment, helping doctors and nurses realize how they can make a difference in a patient's life.
After tsunami, so many people, like the Nepal, same thing. After earthquake, after tsunami, so many people hurt, right?
Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Jiyu, who has abundant experience in international disaster relief, is among the lecturers at the Tima Camp, Malaysia. His sharing has struck a chord with the medical professionals.
The international relief make me open the eye. Money doesn't come for anything. The care, the love, the compassion is there. We must help people without borderless.
If you are going, you have to go willingly from your heart, right from your travel to the stay, to the food, whatever, you have to take care, which is something that I have to teach my people.
This was a child, 4 months old baby, who was admitted to the local hospital because of diarrhea, because of dirty water supply.
In addition, a doctor who participated in Tzu Chi's international disaster relief missions also shares his experience, urging everyone to remember their initial aspirations.
So it's very suffering and it's very touching, really touching, and feel very sad. So at least I can do something for them. It's not a big thing I'm going to do. I can't do much. I'm a nurse, so I can't do much. So maybe when I join you all, I can learn what type of work I can do to people.
Besides lectures, Tima Camp Malaysia also offers testimonials from patients. One of them is a patient who was diagnosed with lymphoma in 2012 and had low self-esteem due to her appearance after surgery. Fortunately, joining a cancer patient support group helped her regain her optimism.
I can understand the pain that they go through and all that. I'm having to go through the chemo and all that. To come out, it isn't easy, you know. They have to be brave to come out, to talk to the public, to face so many people.
As individuals, we must not underestimate what we can achieve. As a scientist, I hope to do my part and promote health education.
The camp has reminded its participants of their initial aspirations of saving and helping patients as they continue to provide medical care to those in need.
As we bring you the final story on the Tima camp that took place in Malaysia, we meet one of the participants who invited her hospital colleagues to join the camp. At the conclusion of the event, she hopes together they'll be able to apply what they have learned here and provide better care to patients.
At the closing ceremony of Tima Camp Malaysia, participants take turns to share what they have learned from the 2-day camp.
In my pharmacy, I do see refugees. I didn't know so many of them. I didn't treat them the same way as I'm treating locals.
Champi Kao from Johor is the superintendent of a hospital in Kulai. Having participated in many Tima camps, she invited her colleagues to join this camp and learn with her.
They are very happy because they have not participated in special camps like this one. My nurse will be able to create a more harmonious work environment. After going back, maybe they can serve the patients with better care.
As the camp lecturers emphasize medical culture, they remind the medical professionals to empathize with those they serve.
At that time also, I'm the one who taking care of her lah, that time. I saw the nurses, they didn't really help my grandma that time. That time I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to be some medical person.
Hopefully, the camp participants will put what they have learned at the camp into practice, serving patients with compassion and humanity.
Clown care, also known as hospital clowning, is a program in healthcare facilities involving visits from specially trained clowns. There is also such a group of performers in Taiwan called Dr. Red Nose that go to children's hospitals to perform magic tricks and to keep the children company.
With very red noses, playful natures, and exaggerated movements, they are the group known as Dr. Red Nose.
Medical treatment is uncomfortable. Even just being sick doesn't feel good. But children are different from adults when they are sick because they are more straightforward. If they feel under the weather, something that can make them laugh will help their pain from illness and fear of treatment go away.
These two brothers have been at the hospital ever since they were small, and Dr. Red Nose's performances has led them to gradually accept their medical treatments, which in turn has made their mother feel more at ease.
它里面表演的戏剧非常的好笑，同时也让我非常的开心。
My favorite skit was when he held up a finger and covered it with a cloth. And suddenly he changed one finger into 4 fingers. That part was the funniest.
When children are happy, their entire mood is uplifted considerably. In turn, they are more willing to cooperate with doctors, which then saves a lot of time in the process of treatment.
Dr. Red Nose visits the hospital twice a week to perform and care for the children as well as their families. This allows the hospitalized to have a happy childhood, regardless of treatment procedures.
Every month, Tzu Chi volunteers in Shanghai, China would hold an outdoor recycling event at a local community. At the most recent gathering, although it rained, volunteers still held the event to do their part to protect the environment. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. See you next time.